1,000 square feet of the best selection and best prices you can find on furniture, mattresses, home accents, accessories, and more. And with new trucks arriving weekly, Blockers has the best available in-stock selection. Unlike many other furniture companies that will have you waiting for months to get what you want or need, come see everything that Blockers has to offer. Blockers Furniture, 2402 Southwest College Road, next to Hobby Lobby.
This hour of Ocala Talks is brought to you in part by Blockers Furniture. Go see all their specials at blockersfurniture.com.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. On a Wednesday, I had to make sure I got Robert's microphone on because, we were talking in the break, and I fell down on my duty, so I got to make sure. What are we on? 1, 2, 3, fourth one. Okay. Robert, good morning.
Good morning, Tom. Thanks for having us.
You always bring great guests, but these two guys, you got Brian Schrader and Kevin Milak in studio because I think you have some sort of small venue or something that's opening soon. Remind me again. I hadn't heard too much about this.
Well, I mean, we've been building it for a number of years. The community, Marion County, has needed a swim center, a natatorium, because the Central Florida was closing theirs. And Ken Colin, through his foundation, stepped up to build this. And, as it became an organic process of developing, it grew into something very substantial. And Brian will be able to talk about that with Kevin about what it really means nationally. But it's become something. And this week is the grand opening of something that's really special for Marion County, and I was really excited to bring Kevin and Brian here to talk about what was going on this week and what the natatorium means to Marion County.
Brian, don't you love how you just nonchalantly said it's a natatorium, it's opening this week? It's a world-class natatorium that will bring world-class athletes to our area. It's not just your normal natatorium.
No, it's a pretty amazing, we'll just call it a venue. Right.
It really is.
Yep.
It's a sporting venue, an amazing sporting venue that's been built here in Marion County.
And a great destination. And yes, it'll attract elite athletes, but the impact on everyone in the community to be able to access this facility for not only leisure, but just everybody that's going to get exposed to swimming.
A lot of people, we had you on earlier. I got a bunch of emails going, is there really that much enthusiasm for swimming in Marion County? And I said, you have no idea. First off, swimming in Florida is enthusiastic because we're surrounded by water on all three sides. So if you're a Floridian, you learn to swim at a very young age. You may not have learned to swim competitively. You may not have learned to swim by instructors who taught proper swim technique, like my dad, who threw me off the back of a boat 15 miles out in the Gulf, said, figure it out at 5 years old. But we all learned to swim in Florida. Swimming is a very vital part of what we've done tourism-wise, what we've done for the entire history of the state of Florida. So this is just another step in bringing, notoriety to a sport which is a very good sport and a world-class natatorium like this with Olympic ties. A lot of people may not realize there's an Olympic tie to this natatorium.
Yeah. So this weekend, and I'll let you, Kevin, talk about it, but this weekend we have our grand opening. We have a VIP-only section a night. Friday night is just invite only. And then Saturday it's open for everybody. And Kevin can talk a little bit more about it. But talking about what you're saying, elite athletes will be there. So I don't know, Kevin, you want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, as far as Olympic ties for this week, I'll let Brian speak on which athletes and their accolades. He's a little more vested on that. As far as the facility itself with the Olympic ties, our outdoor pool was used as one of the training venues at the Olympic trials this past summer. Those of us that aren't in the business, the Murtha pools, when they install these pools in sports venues and convention centers, it's a modular pool system, so they can go through. It's kind of almost like big Legos, and then they can just disassemble it between the pool itself as well as all the pump and mechanicals behind the scenes. And they can go through, pick it up, transport it out of a convention center, and then do a permanent installation here in Ocala, which is really exciting because, I mean, those kids are basically swimming, pushing off the same walls
Right.
as every Olympian that we just had this past summer.
You can say, I pushed
Yep.
off the same wall Katie Ledecky did.
Yes. And then on top of it, it's kind of a nice blend of, we have the same machinery and the same mechanicals for the indoor pool as we have for the outdoor pool. So they actually went through and did something neat. So the chemical controllers from Omaha are actually running the indoor pool. So it's actually, they almost kind of mixed and matched the pieces. So both of those pools kind of get that connection, to where our Olympiad swam in Omaha this summer.
Let's talk for a minute about, you said outdoor pool, indoor pool, then there's practice facilities that aren't part of the competition pools. I mean, if you are immersed in the swimming world, everything you need to succeed is in this natatorium.
Without a doubt.
That enough said, without a doubt. There you go. Now, Brian, this weekend, there are going to be some Olympic ties sports-wise, the stars of the sport. Who are coming for this grand opening?
It's pretty amazing. So there's a couple people that are just going to be walking around because they're coming as part of the grand opening for business, and that's Brendan Hansen from USA Swimming. He was a world record holder in the breaststrokes and gold medalist on a medley relay. Katie Hoff, she's a former American U.S. distance swimmer. She's a silver medalist. And then kind of our special guest stars, first of all, Ryan Lochte from Daytona Beach. He's the
just
second.
Down 40.
Yeah, just the second. He's only the second most decorated Olympic athlete in history.
Yeah, if it wasn't for some guy named Michael, Ryan Lochte would be the most decorated athlete.
That's right.
Some Michael guy. I don't know who that guy. Baltimore guy. I don't know. Yeah, he's not from Florida.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he was okay.
Yeah.
Mark Spitz maybe. Okay, maybe a little better, but you know.
And then Kelsey Dahlia, and she is Kelsey and Coleman Stewart are part of the pro team that I was fortunate to coach. They are both world record holders in their events. Kelsey's an Olympic gold medalist from Rio, and Coleman is a world record holder right now in the 100 backstroke.
But as people are listening to us, they go, well, this is a serious swim thing. These are for serious swimmers only. This natatorium actually isn't just for serious swimmers only. It's for the community as well.
It is, and I hope people come see this because, we're going to have plenty of outdoor water to swim in, and not just lap swim. Just come swim and have fun. We're going to have a great splash park, beautiful splash park for little kids and families. There's covered cabanas with ceiling fans for them to relax under. When you look at our teaching space for lessons, they're shaded with canopies. That's very unique.
You got any ponds over there? Ponds
would be good for you.
Pond would be good for me. It would be.
Retention pond at that.
Retention pond, exactly.
But you got to come see it to believe it. We put up some great pictures, but every person that we bring in to show our space always says the pictures don't do it justice, and you got to see it.
How do they find out what time to come on Saturday? This is open to the general public,
So
right?
general public open from 11 to 3 p.m.
On Saturday.
On Saturday.
And if you want to swim, if your kids want to get in the pool that day, how do you do that?
You need to register online.
You can register online, or you can show up in person. Obviously, we need to sign some. We sign a waiver. We'll get everybody. So we anticipating a big crowd, so kind of getting folks scheduled out of kind of blocks of time, so we don't bomb the pool out too crazy. But between the pool, splash pads, bouncy houses, the inflatable obstacle courses for the kids, food trucks, it's going to be an event. It's not just come play at the pool. It's an event.
And it's free and open to the public.
Right, free and open to the public, 11 to 3.
You'll be able to register for all our programs if you haven't done that already.
And you'll be able to see or meet the Ryan Lochtys and the Katie Hoffs and.
That's right.
Pictures and autographs and.
Robert, what was it, for people that don't know, what was it that made this something that the foundation wanted to do here in Ocala? Why did the King Colin Foundation think that this was something good, or what is the excitement about swimming that the King Colin Foundation got involved with?
I don't want to speak exactly for Ken, but I'll tell you that I know Ken was a swimmer when he was in high school. He still swims now, and he loves it. He's been involved with the College of Central Florida's pool, the Marlins that were there. I forgot what they're Ocala Aquatics, I think, that was there. So he had always been somewhat involved with it in some way or other. And even when my kids were there, he would show up just to watch my kids swim. But when Marion County was looking to replace the pool, and they were looking to, because College Central Florida was closing their pool, and the Marlins weren't going to have a place to swim, and the high schools weren't going to have a place to swim, the need went out. And Ken has a charitable foundation, the Colon Family Charitable Trust and the Circle Square Foundation, and they were prepared to step forward to build this pool that the community desperately needed. And swimming is so important, as you were saying, for tourism, but also because you want children to be able to know how to swim for their own safety. And these guys could talk about even the program for third graders and making sure every third grader in Marion County is able to swim. But when you look at the big picture, everything from Sholem Park to how On Top of the World's run and what its purpose is, to Master the Possibilities, to everything that has come out of what Ken Colon has been involved with, it is how do we best serve our community? How do we make life meaningful for people? And how can we do it? Because we've been fortunate enough and successful. And so the foundation was there to be able to build this pool, even though it grew organically from what the original thought was. But
when you talk about third graders, making sure every third grader in Marion County, talk about that program, because a lot of people think that it's going to be for high school swimmers and it's going to be for swim clubs and everything. But there's a bigger agenda than just making sure swim clubs and high schools have a venue.
We're so excited, and our new venture is going to be called the Cannonball Kids. So not only are we going to offer just regular swimming lessons from infants to adults, but truly a great initiative is free swimming lessons for third graders. So any third grader in Marion County, we're going to create a voucher system for them to come to the pool and be involved in our lessons program. And we really want them to engage in a way that if they haven't swum, they're very safe in the water. And also just keep them in the sport. Keep them in swimming for lifelong fun and maybe even grow into competitive athletes.
You may have an untapped savant at swimming that you didn't know about that comes into the third grade learning to swim practice.
That's right. That's right.
Happens all the time. Somebody's never been exposed to it. You put them in the pool, give them a few instructions, and go, oh, my God, this is a natural fish.
Like a duck to water.
Exactly. So are all the high schools going to use this venue, or is this open to all the high schools? And have you been contacted by them? They all are looking forward to using the venue?
We're going to go through, I believe, we are set up with, 8 of the high schools to come and utilize FAST for both their practices and their meets. One of the things we're most excited about is just being able to go through and get swimming across the county, primarily across the country. It's a no-cut sport. So kids that want to be a part of it, they can be a part of the varsity team on their high school. You can't really do that in every sport. So to be able to be a part of that, to come in, to be a part of a great venue, to be excited about where they're coming, that whenever they do their meets, it's not at a small pool, between the scoreboards, the venue itself, they're going to feel like they're playing, their high school football game at the
Florida field.
Yeah. To have that multiple times throughout the year, for those families to be able to go and have competitions come to them and come to their doorstep. They're not going to have to go for their larger regional and state meets and having to go to Orlando or go to Gainesville or go up to Sarasota or go to Jacksonville. They're going to have it in their own backyard. They're going to sleep in their own beds at night.
Talk about the impact, though, because a lot of people say, what kind of impact will this have on the community? Talk about some of the events that are planned that are going to bring people into our community that necessarily wouldn't come if it wasn't for this natatorium being here.
Sports tourism is huge. And, the folks that come in, obviously, especially with swim meets, we have events already on the calendar over the next 8 months between the Florida Swimming 1400 Championships at the end of July, a couple of other events that we have lined up, all the way up to the Florida versus Florida State is going to do their dual meet at our facility in November. So we have two powerhouse collegiate programs that have fantastic facilities of their own are going to come to neutral territory
to do a swim meet,
to do an event. It's fantastic. And for these families coming in between, if we're doing the age group state meet this summer, it's families coming in, and they're coming in for 3 or 4 days. It's 3 or 4 nights in hotels. They're eating in our restaurants. They're shopping in our stores. And they're being in our community. It's awesome.
What people don't realize, I know a little bit about swimming because when I was a high school senior, junior and senior, my girlfriend was actually a world-class miler. She went on to Florida State and swam. She swam in the Goodwill Games. She was supposed to swim in the '84 Olympics, but she blew her shoulder out. So I know a little bit about the sport when I was in high school. And when her parents we'd go to meets. It was her parents and me, because I was her boyfriend, both her sisters, because they were too young to be left at home. It's not just an athlete and maybe one parent. Now, sometimes that is the case, but a lot of times, especially when you're doing 14 and under, it's the athlete, it's the parents, it's the siblings of the athlete because they can't be left at home. You're talking sometimes 5, 6, 7 family members that come take up 1 or 2 hotel rooms. They eat in the restaurants. That adds up quick to dollars to businesses around our area.
We've already started to see an impact also with teams that want to come train. So the New Jersey Wahoos, a swim club up north, they're going to come down here and train for 8 days with 25 kids and 3 coaches. We got a Canadian team that's full of Olympians and their national team athletes. They're coming in June and they've booked. So we're already starting to see this impact that we're talking about.
My question about this grand opening, because it's going to be a big elite event. Are we going to make Robert Colin put a Speedo on and get in the pool?
We got one for you.
That's what I'm saying. Come on, Robert. I mean,
nobody wants to see that.
Take one for the team. Well, they're different now, Robert. The Speedos are like now bodysuits. They're not like they used to be. It's whole body. Haven't you watched the Olympics? They're in like a bodysuit now when they swim.
It covers their head too, right?
It covers everything from head to toe. With this venue opening like this, Robert, how the anticipations had to be building for months now, and it's finally here. Just what is the emotion going with the staff and everything? What's going on? Because you're right here at the crux of it all becoming reality.
Yeah.
Even though you've seen it being built, you know the reality is it's going to. This weekend, the reality opens.
Yeah, and I'll let Kevin really get into the staff part of that because I know he's even got staffing needs still. But I'll say that my kids were part of swimming for a number of years, and then they got off into other things. So I get calls or text messages. I've been getting them for months, and I always forward them to Brian or somebody and just say, hey, this is what people are saying. And there's a lot of excitement, and the kids are really excited about what's coming. I mean, I know one 8th grader, and she lives in my neighborhood, and she just can't believe she's going to be able to swim in a facility like this. I mean, this is something really special. So, but in terms of staffing, I mean, Kevin, you're even looking for staff, right?
Yeah, we're still looking. Obviously, between lifeguards, swim instructors, it could be young people, it could be older people.
Flotation devices.
if you
janitorial cleaning
like we
staff.
said, it could be anything. It's going to be busy. It's going to be expansive. We're going to have times where it's people that are there 30, 40 hours a week. There are folks that I have lifeguards that we're working on getting trained right now that they just work on the weekends because of their school and their academic and their extracurricular activities throughout the week. And it's a fun, healthy, exciting place to be.
If people want to see what staffing is available, is there a website they can go to?
Website is floridafast.com. Between, like I said, both administrative, wet side, support staff, a little bit of everything. We're kind of approaching this kind of as a startup. We're going to get in, and we're all just going to work real hard to get started and see what those needs are and really expanding out as we build into it.
That's Florida Fast, F-A-S-T.
Right.
And you can see all kinds of pictures of what this natatorium looks like and what events and what kind of activities there are there. So it's worth even just going to that or going to the Florida Fast Facebook page, which is really good. I think they do Instagram as well.
Now, Brian, the last time you were here, we talked about how fast it was approaching, that things were falling into place. It was moving at lightning speed and everything. Now with a week to go, a few days to go, has it slowed down? And you're like, could we get to Saturday, please?
I think we found another gear that we didn't know we had. So things are in overdrive to make sure that we're ready, and it's pretty exciting, but pretty challenging.
I kudos to everything y'all do, because I wouldn't want to take on this endeavor. And I used to open restaurants for a living. That was my job, is I would go to town and see restaurants from the build out and open them. And I want nothing to do with what y'all are doing. Nothing. But it is something that's going to be such a great addition to our community. Not just for the what children and adults in our community will have access to, but just because it'll put Ocala now is a world-class, not only a world-class speed skating for the Winter Olympics mecca, but now it's going to be a swimming mecca as well for the state of Florida and possibly nationally because of this venue.
Yeah, especially, everything that we're going to have regionally is going to be a no-brainer. Everything between our equidistant between Jacksonville and Sarasota, everything with the huge populations and centers in Florida, to come in and, hey, there's an event on the calendar and you can go to Orlando and roll the dice if you're competing for hotels with the World of Concrete conventions in town or something, and you're going to pay through the nose, versus coming to friendly hometown Ocala. It's a no-brainer.
And the location is great too for people, right? Because
it's so
if you're coming from Pensacola or from Miami, you're here in 5 hours, where if the event's in Miami, I mean, now it could be a 12-hour drive if you're coming from parts of the state. So it's a great location regionally as well.
Are there designs? We got about 2 minutes left. Are there designs to make this venue to go after events like, I know the National Junior College National Championships. I know the state junior college national championships. We used to do basketball, and people loved that they were held in Ocala because, like Robert said, if you're a junior college in Miami or a junior college in, a community college in Pensacola, it was equidistant to get to Ocala. Jacksonville's 2 hours away. Sarasota's 2 hours away. It's such an equidistant area that are there designs to bring all those events here as a way to say, hey, our goal, our calling card, the reason we're so good is not only do we have a world-class event center, but we're also equidistant for everybody travel-wise and everything.
I've been running and bidding on and working with every organization, whether it's USA Swimming, NCAA, YMCA, high school federations, for the last 15 to 20 years running these kinds of events. And we never talk about the bids until you get the bids. But I'm going to say everything you just mentioned, and then some, and then some, and then some, is already in the works.
It's going to be
awesome.
It's going to be an awesome place. And, people don't realize as you get older, the probative value of swimming, that you can get in the water and you don't tear your knees up near as bad. You don't tear your shoulders up near as bad. And the cardiovascular is better than running. You think running will get you in cardiovascular shape? Yep. Get in the water, and it's either swim to the side, swim back and forth to the sides, or drown. That's some good motivation. You'll keep your cardiovascular getting pretty good shape.
Yeah, I'll tell you one other cool thing about the facility that nobody really thinks about. When you go to the indoor facility here, if you're in Gainesville, for example, not to trash University of Florida ever, but you can. It's almost like you're sucking in chlorine, and you smell like chlorine when you leave. Here, you walk in, and the airflow and the air quality indoors is amazing. It's
Wait, you mean it's a natatorium that's not going to smell like bleach when you walk in the door?
Nope.
What kind of natatorium are y'all building?
Yeah, that's all right.
There is nothing in this place that if we would have gone and said, hey, here's another, budget's unlimited, get something better, I don't think we could have.
Unless you raise the ceiling a little bit for the platform diving, right? But nobody does that, so why do that for 5 kids in the state that do it?
Well, sadly, the 30 minutes is up.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom.
But thanks for being here, Brian Schrader, Kevin Milak, and, of course, Robert Colin. Thanks. Talk to you in a couple weeks, Robert.
Yep, thank you.
We'll be back after this timeout.
to her representation of Guantanamo Bay inmates to alleged acts of judicial activism. Judge Jackson on critical race theory.
That slide does not show the entire laundry list of different academic disciplines that I said relate to sentencing policy, but none of that relates to what I do as a judge.
One of the 2 black boxes containing data from Monday's China Eastern Airlines plane crash has been found. The black boxes are the technical equipment on planes that reveal reasons for the crash. China's state media said the box was found to be heavily damaged, noting that it was not immediately clear whether it was the one that recorded flight data or cockpit communications with air traffic controllers. USA Radio News.
Water. It's essential to life, but it's also something that so many of us here in America take for granted. Imagine how different your life would be without access to clean water in your home. What if you had to walk to the nearest creek, stream, lake, or pond to get water? Suddenly, going to work and school wouldn't be an option because you and your children would have to spend your days collecting water. This is the day-to-day reality of most families living in the world's poorest countries. But what if I told you that you can change that reality?
You've heard us talk about the luxurious Giza Dream sheets from MyPillow. Well, now they're on sale, 60% off, as low as $39.99. Lots of other overstock items and a free copy of Mike Lindell's book, What Are the Odds from Crack Addict to CEO, with any purchase, but you've got to use my promo code USA. Go to MyPillow.com, the Radio Listener Square, use my promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175.
Shamrock Security Systems, 629-3223. Shamrock Security Systems is located here in Ocala, Florida. Shamrock Security Systems is a top-rated alarm company offering 24/7 monitoring, video surveillance, fire and flood protection. You'll sleep a little better once the job is done. Shamrock Security Systems for over 31 years. 629-3223. Get a 100% free quote from Shamrock Security. 629-3223. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA, 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
Howdy folks, RL here for Dairy Queen again to tell you about what's hot and what's not. Dairy Queen has some of the best char-grilled chicken breasts on earth, as well as their chicken breast salad. And the burgers are exceptional, cooked on a real grill for the best flavor and less fat. And for dessert, blizzards are unequaled. Personally, banana split is my all-time favorite. Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Don't miss the new Ocala Home Show this weekend, March 26th and 27th at the World Equestrian Center.
See everything for in and around your home.
Kitchens, baths, windows, doors, pools, spas, solar, landscape, and more.
Cooking seminars all weekend.
Meet the area's elite contractors.
Hundreds of new products, thousands of great ideas.
Free admission and parking.
The Ocala Home Show, 2 days only, this Saturday and Sunday at the World Equestrian Center. Free admission.
You're getting ready to move and you work hard. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. You need pros. Trained professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. They care about your things as much as you do, and they do it fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. Visit twomeninatruck.com and get moving.